Hello everybody and welcome back to Watching Walford. I'm Ash and now it's another day, another episode of me going through the Super Soap Week episodes. This one being the 30 minutes of Emmerdale and the 1 hour of Corrie. I suppose it'll be interesting to check the general schedule as to see how much else we have, so I'll be back in a moment. So apparently we have 2 more days. We have one half-an-hour slot of Emmerdale tomorrow and then a hour episode on Friday and another hour episode of Coronation Street on Friday. Come on. So today's episodes were very strong on the old Soapingtons. They did a really good job of doing it. I'm obviously going to go from the order it happened and to try and joggle the bells as to what acts you remember. So as I just make this microphone a little more centered, let's talk about Emmerdale. Right, so in the 30 minutes of episode Emmerdale, it was a very packed episode, and obviously the main focus is who did MACK save. But as we always do, I'm going to go from least important to important, or at least somewhat, but you know. I'm not going to go in chronological order because I just simply didn't take notes that way, but in terms of like the most interesting to least, I say this is not entirely true because I have mixed it around, but whatever, it doesn't matter. So the key notes from Emmerdale. So Mandy and Bella arrive back at Sam and Lydia's and they've decided that they ought to figure out where they go from here. Lydia is really strong in getting through this, and Sam is struggling and keeps lashing out. They all try to get her to go to the police and keep bringing up Lisa. Obviously Lisa, Belle's mum, like Lisa Dingle, was raped as well. And yeah, Lydia finds this all a bit much, and you know, she takes 5. And then later on, Sam gets worked up and decides that he needs to do something about it. We head straight to Craig's workplace and obviously wants to see him, wants to make him pay. These scenes were quite good in sense of it was an interesting tale because we have Lydia who's trying to be the strong one in this dynamic. And simply, it's just not something that really happens so much in soap. Usually when someone's raped, they're just completely in pieces and don't even talk about it for months. But she's been like, maybe it has been a while, and I don't know the timeline because obviously I've just read through it on passing. But you know, it feels like she's taken a bit more of a stronger approach in, I'm going to deal with it, but I'm going to deal with it the only way I know how. And that's simply being, I'm not going to go to the police because I can't go through it again. Obviously I don't know if we will build to her actually going to the police or not, because just like the Aaron and Amy one in Corrie, Jesus Christ, it's been such a long year. Just like that one in Corrie, obviously there wasn't a police conclusion there. It's simply he felt bad, dropped the injunction, and then made it so you won't have to deal with me again. So there wasn't necessarily justice, but there was enough closure. So I'm wondering which way we're going to head towards it. Next up we have the Harry and Chaz stuff as they're chatting in the back of the wall back. He convinced her to go for a drive, and like a moth to a flame, Chaz jumps at the first sign of danger like, whoa, let's get on that shit. Without her phone either, as Harry has stolen it, Caleb and Kane go to head out and try to find him, and you know, they're stuck, they're looking over this view, and he's like, oh, I do a lot of my business by looking out here. I saw a lot of my problems here too. And you know, he exposed that his intentions aren't so honest, and we next see, and you know, the next time we see him, we don't see Chaz, and we see Harry ominously cleaning his hands, and we find Chaz's bracelet in the field. It's implied that she's dead, but there's no actual trace of her, we just don't see her. There's no fucking way they kill off Chaz in this way. Like I said, soap have the iconic characters, and as much as we all like to complain about Chaz and how played out the character she is now, I don't know if the attitude's changed within the last couple of years or so, but I highly doubt it has. You know, a lot of people are fed up with the character, but you still respect how big a character she is. You know, she lives till her 60s, 70s, you know, like, you know, a lot of these characters do follow the Pollard route where they were fairly involved, but now they just kind of fart about and make conversation. But yeah, it's implied that she's dead, but obviously there's no actual trace of her. Next, Amit finds Sunny and is welcomed into the family home, and simply, it's a very simple scene where it's like, oh, this is what it's all like. And he just gets startled because I believe he sees where Rishi dies. I believe it's Rishi. Yeah. No? Is it Rishi? Yes. Yes, it is. Okay. And then now we can start to actually go through all of the Chloe and MACK stuff and the charity stuff, because it was the main part of the episode. Honestly, it was very good. It was very tragic as well. So obviously we start off, we recap the build up to the fall, as it turns out that yes, everybody saw it. I thought it was a red herring. MACK did obviously grab Charity's hand, not Chloe's, and you get to see this really tragic shot as she gets to see the person that she loves help the person that she hates the most, save her instead of save Charity rather than herself. But then also knows that the second she hasn't been chosen, it's like you're in one of those like dunking machines, except instead of getting coated by a lovely stint of like cold water, you're sent hurtling down a fucking cliff. And they did not like give a shit. We saw like multiple shots of her just being fucking ragdolled around this car, and it's like, Jesus Christ, man. And obviously we don't see her die, but MACK obviously is like, oh fuck, I've got to go check on her, you know. And yeah, MACK is desperate to go down there to see if she's okay, as he considers how he's going to tell Ruben. He fully believes that it's his fault and wants to take responsibility now. Obviously, him not doing any of this stuff was him not taking responsibility, so hopefully he actually takes responsibility for it. But as he's getting upset, they hear Ruben's toy chiming as we see Chloe's mangled, bleeding body cradling the toy. He tries to comfort her, and she comes to a little bit, just says MACK or Mackenzie. But he sees a bit of shrapnel in her side, like sticking out of her like gut. And yeah, MACK freaks the fuck out as the emergency services are on the way. And Charity tries to get him to think positive, but he believes the worst. And Chloe is stable, but MACK isn't allowed to go there in the air ambulance. MACK is distraught as they're both like, she's like, oh, you know, you did what you had to. It wasn't a choice. And he's like, we both know it was. They share a bit of a long glance. And yeah, Chloe's off in the air ambulance, and MACK and Charity are stuck together. I'm getting good at this stuff, me. All in all, it was a fairly strong episode with a pretty tragic theme. It's obviously the Chloe stuff, the Chloe, Charity, and MACK stuff was the main character of this episode. And a lot of the other stuff did feel secondary. I like the direction we're heading, with Chloe obviously probably not dying, but will be there to raise Ruben by herself and be like, I'm not fucking forgiving you. You basically let me die. You know, maybe we see Chloe's like scary dad. And you know, maybe Carrie will come back. I'm not sure why she's gone, but we'll probably see her back soon. But yeah, it was a good episode. I enjoyed it a lot more. As I said before, Monday's episode was rough, but this episode was very strong, very good. It was the clear like main drama that's been building to this point, so I thought it was just all in all, a very strong addition. Hold on. But yeah, it was a good episode nonetheless. I enjoyed it. Like I said, the Chloe, Charity, MACK stuff is probably my biggest exciting, like my biggest like enjoyment out of this. So ultimately, it was good. And a lot of the other stuff was quite strong. Not really sure why the Jay and Sunny and Amit stuff is taking center stage. I don't really believe that it's... You know, maybe I just haven't seen much of the characters, but I've never really liked Jay. I haven't seen much of Sunny, and Amit has been proven to come across as somewhat of a villain. So ultimately, I'm not entirely sure how... You know, it's being put on the same pedestal, but I don't know if it's necessarily earned the time. But at least they have been very brief with a lot of the stuff. Obviously, if people have been watching it, maybe people enjoy it a lot more than I do. But ultimately, you know, we'll see. I'll read the comments after this and see what people think. There we are. That's the Emmerdale stuff. Obviously, tell me what you think about the Emmerdale stuff down below. And we'll make sure to respond and talk about it tomorrow. Sorry, just do some of this because I ultimately don't want to do it in post. Now we head up to the 1 hour Coronation Street, and I simply wrote, "Oh God, we're getting a whodunit, aren't we?" Why? Well, because I didn't think about it, but someone commented on the last edition that it had Coronation Street, and they went, "Yeah, the black and white filter, that feels like it's heading to a whodunit." And I didn't want to believe it. Because... Right. I'm not saying that it's rather suspect that we're suddenly getting 3 possible whodunits in a fucking year. But EastEnders is having a whodunit at Christmas, Hollyoaks has just done a whodunit, and now we're likely angling towards having a whodunit involved in who killed Stephen Reed. Like, get me out, man. I don't need more. I should be loving it. It's free content, but fuck me. I don't want 3 of them at once. Like, you can put 3 very nice ice creams and go, "Oh, we've got all these. Oh, yeah, sick fucking cookie dough. Oh, yeah, nice, like caramel sutra, whatever the fuck the Ben and Jerry's is. Oh, and like, we've also got this weird, like, peanut butter and whatever the fuck else, like ice cream." And I'm like, "Oh, lovely." And I'm like, "You want it all at once?" I'm like, no, give me the time to enjoy each one separately. Like, fuck me, lads. 3, and maybe we're not getting it, but they're doing police interviews and they're all upset. So ultimately, what do you think about getting another whodunit? Obviously, if you're just a Corrie fan, this might be pretty exciting, but I just see it as another reason to see this Stephen stuff dragged out even longer. And if I was Coronation Street, I'd probably just want to put a cap in it as quick as possible, because it's just been a very shit comedy villain, but it's played completely straight. And I don't know if it's supposed to be funny or it's supposed to be serious, but I've never been able to take any of the Stephen stuff serious. Like, it's so campy, it's ridiculous. Like, don't push me, Peter. You don't know who you're messing with, Peter. It's like that's not even a Canadian accent, for fuck's sake. There we are, there's the voice on the fucking burner. I'll be complaining about that tomorrow. But yes, what actually happens in the Coronation Street, as I've had my complaining about potential whodunit. Okay, so obviously Stephen wants to start like conning everybody out their money or savings, etc. And Stephen wants to make a joint account with Jenny to put all of her savings and keep the money available. He keeps pressuring her to put all the money into the account, and Jenny is absolutely terrified. She even finds herself crying after he leaves. It's quite impressive what they've done. But maybe she knew. I don't know. We'll come to know on later. And Sally and Lane are reeling over Tim not coming back last night. She's yelling about Tim going missing until they find Kevin, who goes, "Yo, I didn't find him." Stephen is caught trying to transfer 250k from the Underworld account to his offshore seagull, and Stephen, like taking candy from a baby, convinces Michael to give him his fucking sort code, which results in Stephen stealing 250k, $250,000, for the most easiest transaction you've ever seen. Like, fucking hell. I get that it's Michael, and Michael was seen as an idiot, and there was no reason to expect anything else, but fuck me. Oh. I hope that they can get the money back, but ultimately we're seemingly heading into a financial worries storyline with Carla, so, you know, maybe they don't get their 250k back, but yeah, fucking hell, man. And yeah, during the meeting with the possible client, they see that 250k has gone out of the account, and, you know, when Carla shouts at Michael in the most mum way possible, like, you've done enough! Don't you think you've been dumb enough already? You know? Because he does just give away 250 grand. Like, there's no tomorrow. With Stephen's fake, like, oh yeah, it's Carla on the phone, yeah. Yeah, Carla, you think it's fine for me to take my fault's account? Yeah, okay. Oh, get me a fucking sick bucket, lads. Ooh. And obviously they have to ditch the client when it goes missing, and Sarah reveals that Stephen has taken out money from Audrey's house. This obviously angers Carla because she's like, why the fuck didn't you tell me? Sally, Elaine and Gail go walking to the crime scene, try to figure out about Tim. They go straight to the police station and start to worry about Tim being the body, but it's Teddy, don't worry. As Stephen tries to get his journal back from Elaine's flat and gets the keys. Sarah tells Audrey about Stephen, and the Platts talk about, and they talk about it. And David's the first one to point out, like, yo, maybe Stephen's not all legit, you know? Like, maybe he did do something. Maybe he's, like, you may not seem malicious, but some of the things do make sense. And obviously Sarah reveals all of his misdemeanors to the family, and they get worried about where Audrey is. And Stephen's in Elaine's flat. As he's about to leave, Peter shows up. And that's the end of episode 1. Very action-packed, very, oh shit, he's stolen money. Oh shit, he's done even more. Like, there's some really good stuff. I enjoyed it. A bit of a call, you know, with like we built up to, oh shit, Tim could be dead, and now it's like, oh, is Tim dead? Is Tim dead? We don't know. There we are. That's the end of episode 1 as we get ready for the confrontation of Peter and Stephen. Peter corners him in the flat and wants to confront him over the microdosing. He denies Carla's phone call, which means he doesn't know about the money yet, and before Stephen can attack him with the award, Audrey interrupts and reveals she's heard about him stealing from his own mother. And Stephen tries to claim he deserves compensation and emotionally blackmails her. And she's like, look, I'm not fucking leaving. I'm keeping you here. As he genuinely considers killing his own mum. I don't want to ramp on too much about the Stephen stuff as it is coming to an end, but I'm just safe to say I'm quite glad I haven't covered Coronation Street much this year, because fuck me, it probably would have been a very complainy. Between this, the M&D storyline, the main thing that I'm really interested in is obviously that Daisy and Ryan, and then hopefully Bethany and Daniel again, but who the fuck does know? Yeah, Michael is sent home and sends everyone home as Carla and the factory is in complete financial ruin, and Sally is distraught and worried that everyone is looking for Stephen, but nobody's looking for Tim. Yeah, fair enough. Gail and Stephen inform Jenny about the money, and they desperately search for Audrey. Jenny finds out that Teddy was murdered, like Leo, and now the penny starts to drop. David pieces together that Stephen could have murdered Teddy, and Peter breaks into Elaine's flat with Platts, but they realise she's not here, and like Audrey's not here, and neither's Stephen. And Gail gets a bit worried seeing the trophy with blood on it, as Stephen manages to conveniently escape by hiding in the fucking. I think it's the fucking tram stop, but for fuck's sake, he just conveniently manages to slip out like he's fucking playing a stealth game and the pathing's wrong. So he's just gone out and everybody's like if you're playing a game, he would have just chucked a pebble like this way, like, oh, there's a noise over there, and then fucking he just manages to conveniently get into the taxi. I get that a lot of people love it because it's campy, but it's gone on a bit too long for me personally. But hey, it's nearly done. I'll stop complaining about it. Peter finds Audrey held up in the salon, and Roy brings Jenny a quiche as she laughs in shock, as Jenny's just terrified of more bad news. He consoles her and she feels a little bit better, and she selfishly says, "The worst is over." And before we get to the final scenes, we just carry on. Peter decides to go to the airport to chase him after knowing he's headed for the airport, as DS Wayne arrives a bit too late. Maybe doing things by the book isn't necessarily the best way to do things. As the Platts are discussing the possibility of Stephen actually being a murderer, Audrey gets upset and essentially like, "Don't you fucking talk to me about this." And the police get word that Stephen boards his flight in 45 minutes and they need to get straight to the airport right now. As Stephen tries to check in, but his passport isn't there. And elsewise, Sally realises that Tim could have been a victim of Stephen. But the final scene shows Stephen's famous jacket stalking Jenny, as she must have stolen his passport. Ooh. Yeah, there we are. That's the episode. 2 very strong episodes, very exciting. I'm slightly worried at who's actually going to die. Like, we haven't seen Tim yet. And we haven't really seen... You know, I was slightly worried for Audrey. I'm like, they better not kill Audrey off in this fucking shit stunt week. It's been good, but they better not, like... If Stephen's killing spree is just 3, like, nondescript, not important characters, and the only important character she kills off is Audrey, like, we've absolutely fucking bottled it, lads. Like, that's an absolute shame, and they've just stolen it they've just robbed us flat. But there we are, that's the episodes. The Coronation Street was good. Obviously, it's a bit of like a fucking information overload, as there was obviously an hour and a half of soap, and that's a lot going on, and there's a lot to try and get across, so I hope I've covered that in a good fashion. Obviously, there is no Corrie episode tomorrow, but there is an Emmerdale episode, so I will be back to bring you another edition of the Soap Stunt Week. What did you think of the Coronation Street? Are you liking the Stephen Reed stuff? Are you glad he's going? Tell me all in the comment section down below. I feel like a fucking medium over saying that every time. It's a call to action. So a call that you should take action. Like the channel, subscribe, share the videos around, and ultimately just engage with us. As I love being able to make a video and it goes out to an actual audience and you guys go, "Yeah, oh, you're wrong, you fucking bozo, rip L, bozo, clown, ratio, all the above." But I've been Ash from Watching Walford. As said before, what did you think of the episodes tonight? Whichever one you want to talk about, I am all ears, but we'll be back tomorrow for more of the same. Thank you for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye. Clarification. Apparently, what I didn't notice is at the end, people are suggesting of the end of the Coronation Street episode, perhaps it is Tim at the end of the episode as she's heavy breathing. Tim and Stephen both wearing very similar jackets. One was darker, the one was lighter. They probably both look the same. So yeah, it could be Tim at the end of the episode. Could be Stephen. It wouldn't make sense for Tim to be looking so like staring at Jenny in particular. But I don't fucking know. I just had to make that extra clarification. Had the video all edited, all ready to go. Clarification time. It's time to just... There we are. Could be Tim, could be Stephen. That was the key point. I thought it was immediately Stephen, but there is a chance that it could be Tim. There we are. Thank you for watching. Ash, Watching Walford. Bye-bye. Comment, subscribe. Blah, 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 blah.